morning everyone, hi. Just going to give you a couple of moments just to get your special space organised. So just turn that down, I'm just getting the technology ready. Oh, what a beautiful morning, and just such a delightful way to bring in this wonderful transformative day of the year. So I can see that somebody's there. If you just want to let me know who it is so I can say hello. So this may be an odd time for those who are used to practicing with me in the virtual retreat centre, as we usually have a Sunday afternoon together. But I thought I'd change the rhythm and change the cycle, given that we're heading into the cycle of change and the cycle of seasonal change, specifically celebrating today the summer solstice. So I wanted to prepare this class essentially for you, to give you this sense of connection back with the change in season, back with this vital life force, this beautiful vitality. So I hope that you have started to settle in. So what I wanted to do this morning, I can't actually see who is actually here just yet. So give me a couple of seconds to get the technology sorted. Oh, hi Mel, there you are. Gorgeous girl. Okay, so what we might do is just get started. So what I wanted to do is just explain to you the beautiful earth altar that I actually have prepared for you in celebration of the summer solstice. So I don't know if you're actually aware that the summer solstice, I think it kind of changes hands in the eastern hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere, just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. So essentially when we actually look at the solstice, it's actually a mirror for our sisters in the north. So our sisters in the north will celebrate the winter solstice, which is essentially the shortest day of the year, whereas here in the south, the summer solstice actually represents vitality. And the Latin word for solstice is actually sun. So the sun is in its stationary position at its highest point of the cycle, around, I think it's around 2:18, 2:20 this afternoon. So if we actually think about what the sun actually does for us, it's really about this vitality and this growth. So I think the spiritual connection, certainly back to the solstice, is really around thinking about the energy that the sun provides for us, but more importantly, how this vibration can actually lift ourselves. So if we're thinking about this vital life force, or the prana as we say in yoga, or the primal consciousness that comes actually with celebrating where the sun is at its highest point, we are consciously vibrating at a greater capacity today. So that's really one of the other intentions that I had, was actually just to share with you, some of the vital ways that you can actually bring the solstice into your life, today, not only through the practice of yoga, but also through the practice of some kind of devotional practice back to the earth. And I think that's really, really where I'm kind of coming from today, which is actually to bring more ancient nature's wisdom back into the conversation, because I think it represents so much more consciousness than really what is around us at this particular point in our lives. So it's an opportunity to represent this highest level of vibration. It's the fullest power, and I guess from my perspective, it really gives me this kind of sense of internal strength. And sometimes when we're feeling a little bit depleted, or a little bit in a place of not so being vital and in ceremony, then I just think this is a wonderful opportunity to really maximize the energy that the sun has for us today. So what I wanted to do is actually show you my earth altar. So what I'll do after the session is I'll take a couple of photographs for you, so you can actually see how I've actually set the practice here today. So what I firstly wanted to start with is a beautiful cauldron in the middle. So my cauldron is actually filled at the moment with lunar water, so you can actually just see behind my beautiful offering at the front, which is essentially my flower offering. But in the middle I actually have an urn that's filled with vital lunar water. Now that's obviously going to change, because I'm going to charge that beautiful urn with solar water. And I'm actually going to use that to take in vital life force. So that's an opportunity for you also to perhaps grab an urn or a bottle and fill it with water and give it the energy that it deserves out in the sun today at some point. I also have a beautiful spread of offerings. I've got seeds, I've got plants, I've got flowers, and this is just a wonderful way for me to say thank you, Mother Earth, for providing all of this wisdom and providing this insight that we've got presented forward today. I've just got little Bear in the background here, so he wants to come and join me. Come on, you can sit there. Good boy. Sit. That's it. No, off please, off. What I've also got is my beautiful crystals. So I've actually got some moonstone. I've actually got some lodestone as well. Lodestone is a beautiful shaman stone that I actually use to call in spirit and to call in energy. I actually have a beautiful piece of ancient Mayan ruin that I collected from Ichimay during my trips to Guatemala today. I've actually got feathers. I've got flowers set in mandala. So traditionally women would come together in summer solstice and obviously also in winter in circle to celebrate. So this is in honour of our ancient sisters who have come before us. So I wanted to kind of replicate this spiralling and this source of life, because if you think about the sun, it is actually this energy and this spiral that circles around the moon and the earth every month. So I wanted to replicate this in front of me today. I've also got some sage that's burning here to cleanse the space. I've also got some chili to bring in the heat and to maximise the vitality. I've also got some essential oils, so I'm using oregano for cleansing. I've got wild orange for abundance. I've also got some calendula, so some calendula tea. So calendula tea is a sister of marigold. And you can see kind of some of the leaves here, which are beautiful and yellow. That's also for vitality. And calendula is also a beautiful healing herb, and it's great to bring vitality back to, say, scarring or healing on the skin particularly. So it's great for that. So I just wanted to share that beautiful altar space for you. So that's maybe an opportunity for you to consider, perhaps, sometime during the day, how you may like to actually bring some of the energy that this beautiful solstice provides for you back into your daily life. So, is everyone set there? I can see that a few people have joined. I think Jode's here. Thank you, Jodie, from Melbourne. Alright, so what we might do is get started with the practice. So, for those of you who haven't practiced with me before, I'm a Hatha-based teacher, strong in alignment, but I'm also a really body positive orientated teacher. So what you just essentially need to do is find your own rhythm in your own perfect body. Now if you have props and blocks and bolsters, take a little break and maybe go off and collect those for your practice. So this morning's practice is actually going to be dedicated to life force, prana, and raising this sense of heat and vitality. So there's going to be some sun salutation sequences, sun salutation A, but if you want to take the full version, then just take what your body is able to access. That's beautiful and bountiful, and creates this sense of vitality and this sense of strength, because as we know, we want to honour the sun for its vitality today. So I'm going to try my best to operate around the beautiful bear. I actually think that he was triggered by the sage. We actually had a really bad bushfire here around 12 months ago, and ever since the smell of smoke actually triggers him to want to be with mum. So I'm just going to try my best to operate around him, and usually he would practice with me anyway, so I guess it's a good test for how I can actually modify my practice around what's presented forward at this particular point in time, which is my beautiful bear. Alright. Okay, so ladies, thank you so much for joining me. Let's come in to take your seat. And what I'd like you to do is just find something that's comfortable for you, whether that's to prop the hips forward. But what I'm wanting you to make sure you're doing is actually really focusing on this connection back to the earth, and this connection just back with the breath. So the palms are facing up to receive the energy, and just connecting in with the rise and fall of your breath. So the inhalation is through the nose. And the exhalation, just out the mouth. So wanting you to draw in the vibration of the essence of coolness. And the exhale is the heat. Inhale, exhale. So it's just this rhythm through the nose and out the mouth. And now let's just change the rhythm of the breath just slightly. So what I'm wanting you to do is focus this energy space from Muladhara into the root, up to Tadasana, where we've actually got this sense of vitality and this sense of joy, and also up into Manipurna, up into the navel area. So with the breath, what I'd like you to do is, if it's within your practice and it feels safe, just to close the eyes down. Close the eyes down and visualize a beautiful ball of light. And this beautiful ball of light, whether that sits at the front body or the back body, you just make an intuitive choice about where you would like to focus the ball of light. Choose your colour, perhaps it's red, perhaps it's orange, perhaps it's yellow, but just keep it within that beautiful spectrum. And I'd like you to now just activate the root. And with the inhale of the breath, visualise this beautiful ball of light activating from Muladhara and taking the breath up to Tadasana and then just stopping at the navel. So I don't want you to take the breath any higher for this point in time. I just want you to rest here, and on the next exhale, out the nose, back to the base. So it's just this activation of this lower level chakras, just to get this vital life force moving, and you're focusing on supporting yourself in this practice with the breath. So the inhale through the nose, from Muladhara up into Tadasana, up to Manipurna, up to behind the navel, exhale, release. So what I'd like you to focus on is making sure that the rhythm of the breath, the equilibrium between the inhale and the exhale is actually of equal distance. And a few rotations of that as you settle in. It's alright, baby. It's alright. Off, please. Off. Daisy girl, off. Just continue with the breath. And then as we raise the breath from the base, carrying up to Tadasana, up to Manipurna, and then now up to rest just behind the heart. So continuing just with this ball. So it's kind of going to be acting like the bouncing ball on a thermometer. So really activating this area of the body from the base, Tadasana, up to navel, and rest to the heart. And from the heart, exhale, release, back to the base. So I just want you to make sure that the breath, the equal parts to the breath, and perhaps you're actually up to maybe 5 parts when you're actually breathing up into Anahata. Breath, release, inhale. And exhale from the heart back to the base. So carry this breath now with the next big inhalation up through to the shoulder, sitting up to the heart. So you're actually breathing through all of the chambers of the body. So from Muladhara, this base area, up through the vital life force, sitting into the heart, and now up to the shoulder, up to the throat. So on the exhalation, we want you to breathe really fully and push the breath back to the base. So next inhale, if you can, just slightly change the rhythm and come into Royal Maharaja Pranayama, which is the breath regulation, so the belly is beautiful and full. So now that we've activated this area, you should be able to really feel the opening of the cavities in the body. So really up to the shoulder, and when you get to the shoulder, please pause at the top of the breath, and the exhale, vital force, following that bouncing ball, back to the heart, and then back down to the base. Breathing in with the inhalation, and the exhalation, slight pause at the top, exhale is release. The inhale up to the top of the breath, up to the throat, and the exhale, back to the chambers, back to the base. Now on this next vital breath in, drawing in this life force and this prana, we're breathing up into the throat, but the next inhalation, I'd like you to take it a little bit further and just come up to the third eye. So coming up to the third eye, and what's happening here is the capacity in the body is getting fuller to be able to take the breath in. So when you're breathing up into Ajna, into the third eye, the exhale, back to the chamber, into the throat, back to the heart, and back down to behind the navel, into Tadasana, into the base. And draw the life force in again. Take the breath all the way up to Ajna, third eye. So what I'm wanting you to do is make sure that you're containing the breath, this vital life force, inside the body. It's kind of getting deep into the flesh and bone. It's this source of vital vitality. So wanting you to contain the breath and the perspective of the breath inside the body. So next breath, raising up to Ajna, into the third eye. And the exhale is the release. So remembering equal parts to the breath, the inhale, the rise and fall, and the exhale is the release. So next, inhale, still up into Ajna, third eye. What I'm wanting you to do is start to establish a relationship and an intention with your practice this morning. So drawing in why is it that you showed up this morning for your practice, this particular beautiful day, this Sunday morning? You're practicing with me in a mutual sense, and I'm so honoured that you've actually shown up for yourself and for this collective container of consciousness that we're building this morning. So raising whatever that vibration is, that intention. My intention for this practice is to offer this beautiful wisdom, to hold space for you in a safe container where you can actually explore yoga and the other modalities that I bring to the practice in a safe and loving way. So as you're rising up now from Ajna, what I'd like you to do is now bring the breath to contain it within the top of Sahasrara into the crown. So I don't want you to actually extend the breath any longer than the extensions of the hair follicles. I want you to maintain this energy into this vital connective source, into your consciousness. Because remembering that this particular day is actually about vibrating, allowing ourselves to vibrate higher, but also maximizing this beautiful potential for vitality and life force. So on the inhale, I want you to take the breath as far as you can to the end of the follicles, and I want you to then to draw the breath right back in through the end of the hair follicles, coming into Ajna, back to the throat, and continuing that beautiful rotation back. The breath and the life force, drawing it in from the base. So your inhale and your exhale, your capacity in your body in terms of the lungs is getting stronger and more vital. Inhale. And now let's just join together with hands into prayer as I just seal open the beautiful asana practice. Bowing your head in gratitude to the practice if that's within your realm. So now that we've actually settled in, we've set the intentions, we've had some rhythm of the pranayama, so let's just really maintain this sense of focal point inwards, so this sense of pratyahara. And as we actually move, I'm just going to be moving off my seat position, so moving off your sukhasana or your easy crossed legs. And let's just come to start the practice, just laying on our back in corpse pose. I'm just going to try to rotate myself around beautiful bear here. So let's come back to just take corpse pose for a second, making sure that I'm just going to go out of shot here. So just making sure that you're long and vital on your mat, you're connected, the palms are facing up. And just allow yourself to sink into the arms of Mother Earth. You're relaxing the front body, the back body is supported. And I just want you to feel the sense of breath. Sense of breath, drawing in the breath from the bases of the feet and just conducting a beautiful body scan of the body. Settling into the breath here. So the next breath, palms facing down. Just want you to now to bring the knees up into the chest, grabbing both knees into the chest with the hands. And just now rotating yourself side to side. And now the next breath, what we're actually just going to do is to start to come up and get some spinal rotations happening through the back of the body. And just to warm through here. And maintaining this sense of control, particularly in the core. So looking at activate, Mani Purna, we're just now becoming into our boat pose, into Navasana. So with Navasana, I'm just adjusting here, so your options could be placing the feet on the floor, palms facing up, lifting the heart for vitality. Next level is to bring the feet forward, making sure the heart is lifted, palms facing up, activating Mani Purna for this strength and this internal sense of vitality. Navasana, boat pose. So next inhale, let's release the legs to the floor. Let's release the body, arms up over the head. And now bringing the knees into the chest. And once again, coming back to do your beautiful rotations of the spine. And now coming back to find Navasana, your boat pose. So whichever option is available for you this morning. This is perfect for everybody. And if you're feeling strong and vital, take the feet forward, lift from the navel, lift the heart. And rotate. So continue with. So we're activating the lower level chakras here. This sense of vitality, this sense of life force. And the next option may be that you could come into a fuller version of the pose. If you have the length and space in the body, the length in the hamstrings, the strength, and the alignment in both. So we're sitting back onto the tailbone, we're lifting the heart up, length through the hamstrings, looking up for vital source. You may also would like to take, if it's within your practice, a grip through the top edges of the toes, the big toes, so taking a grip. Whereas I'm choosing just to rest here and rotate with this strength. I'm making a fist in through my navel. 5 to 8 breaths here. And the next, inhale, final rotation here. So allowing yourself. And you may just want to splay the legs open if that feels safer for you in terms of your practice. And the final rotation here. So you may want to take whichever version of boat pose, Navasana. That's it, breath. And I want you to smile. Release any tension through the face. Release the jaw side to side. Stick the tongue forward if you can. Beautiful. Okay, so let's now, I'm just going to rotate the opposite side. I would ordinarily be practicing this side, but they're still in my range of motion. So I'm going to be coming back now just to take our tabletop pose. So the technical alignment should be hips and shoulders nice and stacked. So we're stacking the wrists, shoulders are strong. 5-point connection, so the wrists, knuckles and plus 5-point connection, the 6-point connection into the wrist. So actually want you nice and high in the shoulders. I want the navel locked up. Flat of the feet. So also watching the hips and the knee alignment, feet flat to the floor. Come on, mate. And just some beautiful rotations of the spine here, just to warm through. And just allow the breath to be your guide here. That's it. And we're going to be coming into now some mini sun salutations from seat position. So let's come to the back of our mat here. So taking our hero pose, Virasana. So the buttocks comes back to the backs of the heels, palms facing up, slight tilt forward in the hips. Feeling yourself really connected. If that's a little bit testy for the backs of the knees, if there's some pull through there, just place a little prop or a bolster underneath your buttocks. Next, inhale, hands into Namaskar, into prayer pose. That's bow our head in gratitude for the practice. And the next inhale is bring the arms up through. Exhale, fold ourselves forward into extension of child pose. Exhale, head to the floor. Next, inhale, chin and chest to floor. Next, inhale, flat of the hands, turn the hands back towards the breastbone. Coming into rotate through upward facing dog, turning through to your tabletop, pushing back into Balasana, child pose. Exhale, back to rotate the arms up and around. Exhale, hands through to prayer pose. Next, inhale, hands up through the body. Exhale, through to prayer. Next, inhale, float the body forward into extension of Balasana, child pose. Next, inhale, scoop the energy, chin and chest to floor. Flat of the body, adjust the hands. Come into Baby Cobra, Bhujangasana. Next, inhale, rotate back through your tabletop, buttocks comes back. Extension back to Balasana. Raise the arms up and open. And the inhale, exhale, back to take prayer pose. Next, inhale, up for vital force. Exhale, continue this flow. So you're raising the breath up to Father Sky. You're sinking in to Mother Earth. Exhale, Balasana. Next, inhale, chin and chest to floor. Flat of the body forward. Adjust the hand side of the breastbone. Elbows in, Bhujangasana, Cobra. Exhale, bring the body back. For the final rotation now, buttocks back to heels, sink the head and the heart forward. Exhale, bring the arms up over the head. Exhale, hands into prayer. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, back to ground. Inhale, Balasana. So rotate those hips back and forward, surrender the head forward, breath. So we're moving the breath. Inhale. Adjust the hands, coming to slide through Bhujangasana, Cobra. Back through, bowing your head to the earth. Beautiful breath rotation. Inhale, up over the head. And exhale is the release. Beautiful. So let's now come back to take tabletop. We're going to come into now just transitioning into our first Ardha Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. So you just take whichever practice is within your range. So if you feel like you need to come forward and stack. Hey Bear, move the baby. That's it, I'm just talking to Bear here. I'm actually just trying to get my position, but he's right on top of me. Okay, so let's just meander our feet here, just to find where there's any residual tension that might be existing in the body overnight. So I'm wanting you to feel that you can actually move just intuitively here, nothing too structured. I'm wanting you to go with the flow, this vital life force that you've created in the body, through the breath and through the beautiful intentions that you're setting here. Okay, let's come back to the knees now. Come back to take Balasana. Exhale. Inhale, coming back to take downward facing dog. So maybe you're actually in a stationary position now. So what I'm wanting to make sure is that you're stacking the weight back. The hips are tilted back. Shoulders away from the ears. Shoulders locked around. Now the knuckle positions, 5 points contact. Shooting the hips back. So you can see the weight transfer on forward. What we want to do is make sure the weight transfer is back. That's it, the navel up. Ardha Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. That's it. Breath. That's it. Next, inhale, step, walk or jump into the high lunge. Right leg follows into Uttanasana, forward fold. So come into dangling here. You may be able to bend the knees and just come into supported forward fold. I'm just out of shot there, I'll just move back. Grabbing the elbows, releasing the feet forward, expanding the toes. That's it, so just dangle the arms forward now, release the tension through the backs of the legs. Next inhale, let's ground the feet. It's going to be coming out of shot here. Raise the arms up and above the head. Inhale. Exhale is to come back to take prayer pose. Now we're going to be starting with Surya Namaskar, salute to the sun. Surya Namaskar, salute to the sun, rotation A. So just want you to take your modifications. So if it's not step through, you can always walk the body through. If you need to adjust, I won't be taking Chaturanga today. I have a challenge with my left wrist, so I'll be coming through modified versions, so through tabletop. So you're welcome to take whatever variations your beautiful body chooses this morning. Okay, so let's take our position at the top of the mat. So Surya Namaskar in salute to the sun. We honour the energy and the vitality that the sun provides for us, particularly on this day of the summer solstice. So on the next inhale, let's flip the arms up and above the head. The exhale is to fold ourselves forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Ground the hands, let's next inhale, Adho Uttanasana, halfway left. Next exhale, flutter the hands, right leg comes back. Left leg into downward facing dog. A few stabilizing breaths here in the pose. So next inhale, let's transfer the weight forward. I'm coming through to the knees. Flutter the feet, chin and chest to floor. Adjusting the hands to the side of the breastbone, Bhujangasana, Cobra. Upward facing dog. Next inhale. Exhale, I'm turning and coming back via tabletop. I'm turning the toes under, flicking the hips back, downward facing dog. Next inhale, step, walk or jump. The right leg forward into the high or low lunge. Left leg forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. Ground the feet, ground the energy up. Raise the energy up over the head, and the exhale is the release. Let's continue the left side. Inhale over the head. Exhale to float your body forward. Inhale, halfway left. Adho Uttanasana. Exhale, flutter the hands. Coming back. Left leg followed by the right. Downward facing dog. Find the vitality, find the strength here. Shift the navel back. Adjust your pose for your perfect body. Next inhale, I'm coming up to the spring of the toes. I'm transferring the weight forward into variation high plank. Dropping the knees, tipping the toes. Into halfway lift here. Upward facing dog, turning the buttocks back through tabletop, turning and transferring the energy back and open. Downward facing dog. That's it. Next inhale, getting ready to step, walk or jump, left foot forward into the high lunge. The exhale, the right leg forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. The exhale, ground the feet, raise the energy up and open, and the exhale is release. So just take a couple of breaths there. What I'd like to do now is just give you the option to modify your practice, and I'm not going to actually guide the practice now. So what I'd like you to do, if you can, it's within your range, is to do 2 further rotations. The right side and the left side is 1 rotation. The right side and the left side is the 2nd rotation. When you're finished, come back and we'll take Tadasana, and then I'll guide the following 2 sequences together as a core, as a community. So when you're ready, just take your stance at the top of the mat and employ any source of vitality, any source of variation that your body would like to take through your own personal journey of the Surya Namaskar. So when you're ready, your own perfect rotations of the Surya Namaskar. So when you're ready, let's just stabilize here in Tadasana. Roll following the outside edges of the feet down, softening the eyes, softening the jaw, and imagining that there's this beautiful bowl of water, this vital life force sitting in through behind the perineum and the navel, back to the sexual health system, the hormonal health system, and back into Muladhara. Palms facing forward, softening and closing the eyes, and just maybe feeling this sense of vitality, this sense of heat that the beautiful Surya Namaskar has provided for us. So just want you to settle into this breath for a couple more moments, and then we'll guide the right side and the left side together. So Surya Namaskar in salute to the sun. We honour this source of vitality, this source of energy, this source of lifting us higher and more consciously to the energy that the sun provides for us. The inhale is over the head. Exhale, let's bring hands through the heart space as a variation. Exhale, release, forward fold, Uttanasana. Adho Uttanasana, place the hands on the shins, halfway lift, so we want to make sure that the pelvic bowl is nice and lifted. The heart is flat, the back is nice and long. So next exhale, just a variation, is the right leg comes back, left leg is forward, coming into our lunge. Raise the arms up and over the head. Right, if you can, raise the heart up, otherwise just make sure the hips are focused forward. Next exhale, side of the hands, left leg comes back into downward facing dog. Next inhale, spring of the toes, take your variation on coming through chin and chest to floor, flat of the feet, adjusting the hands. Bhujangasana, cobra, upward facing dog, exhale. Turning the body back, turning the toes under, downward facing dog, exhale. Next, inhale, getting ready to step, walk or jump the right leg forward into the high or the low lunge. So this is the low lunge, high lunge here. Spring of the hands to help you, Uttanasana, forward fold. Exhale, ground the feet. Raise the energy up and open. Exhale the hands to the side of the body. Settle back into your body here, release. And get ready to flow. The inhale up over the head. Exhale is to float the body forward. So release any residual tension that's happening in the body. Just release forward, dangling. Come into forward fold. Ground the feet. Raise the heart up. Nice halfway lift. Flat of the hands on the front of the feet. Or you may take front of the feet here or to the side. Exhale, getting ready to then transition. Left leg followed by the right, downward facing dog. It's not really moving for me here. Gorgeous baby. Okay. Inhale. That's it. There, I need some more length, mate. So the next inhale, spring of the feet, coming back to the knees, chin and chest to floor, flat of the body, adjusting the hand side of the breastbone, upward facing dog, turning the buttocks back, turning the heels, down facing dog, that's it. And the next inhale is that right foot forward into the high or low lunge. Exhale, left foot forward, forward fold. That's it, ground the feet. Raise yourself up. And you may want to come into a slight little opener of the heart. Exhale is the release. Back to take hands into Samastiti. Let's just take Tadasana here. So feeling the heat, feeling this beautiful prana that you've created in the body. It's getting nice and warm here. I'm just going to have a time check. on the time. Okay. Thanks for sticking with me, everyone. I can't interact with you because I can't kind of see from the iPad to where I'm filming who's actually on. So I'm not ignoring you, but thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying the practice. Okay. So let's just take Tadasana. The beautiful mountain pose outside of the feet down. Beautiful sense of coming back to find your stillness. So I guess when we're working with this heating energy of the Surya Namaskar, we sometimes may feel a little bit out of our body, but this is an opportunity now to come back to be very present in the practice. Taking Tadasana and allowing this spiraling sensation of the vitality and the heat to really feel the body. So next breath, what I'd like you to do is just place the right hand on the heart and the left hand, just cupping just into this lower level, so from your navel, Manipurna, into Tadasana and into Muladhara. So just this area here. Bowing your head in gratitude for this sense of connection back to the creative source. The sense of connection back to the element of fire, the element of heat. So I actually have a beautiful candle of sandalwood and mint, as well as my beautiful sage to represent cleansing and clearing, to represent burning away anything that no longer serves my intentions, particularly as we enter a new decade. So this is an opportunity to have the representation of the smoke and the fire to expel, to release. And at some stage this afternoon I will be having a ritual of release where I will actually bury all of my debris and return it to the earth, along with this beautiful earth altar that I've created here. So just standing in your vital life force. And let's now just come into a series of Virabhadrasana's, warrior poses. So Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. So I'm just going to try and work around bear again. Come on, mate, you gorgeous boy. I know. He's a yogi bear. So left leg is forward. So what we're wanting to do is watch heel to arch alignment. Oh, here he goes. It's all right, mate. Here, I'm just going to put the sage out, sweetie. There we go. It's all right there, bear. It's all right, mate. Oh. Bear with me a sec. It's all right, bear. I'm just putting the sage out. There we go. Poor little man's a bit stressed, isn't he? It was definitely that fire, hey. It came right up to our back boundary. I'm digressing, but yeah, he's definitely a trigger for him. He hasn't been as bad with the sage because I haven't actually practiced outside for some time. And he usually, when I've got sage burning, and he usually practices with me on the mat, which is why he's kind of been a bit hard to move. But anyway, so let's just employ this strong Virabhadrasana energy, warrior 2. So left leg is forward. What I'd like you to do is make sure that you've got the heel to arch alignment in the feet, and to make sure you're feeling really strong. What I'd also like you to do is make sure you can kind of get this sense of flipping back as you rotate and you sink forward. You sink kind of down. So we don't want the body to come into a kind of a lunge forward. We want the body to be really vital and to sink and open through that back right hip, if that makes sense. Raise the arms up to shoulder height and find this vital power in the pose. So I want you to lift up from the ribs, up from the navel, find the strength here. Next inhale, you may want to kind of rotate back and scoop the arm up into reverse. Next exhale is come in to take Virabhadrasana to warrior 2. Next inhale, let's rotate the hands down, spring of that right foot, left leg comes back into downward facing dog. That's it, breath. That's That's it. So next, inhale, the right leg's going to come forward now. So I'm just going to change direction. So the right leg is forward. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Once again, which is just to set yourself up in the pose. So it's that vital pushing of that left hip back, so we don't want to be too far forward. Raising the arms up to shoulder height, just checking in. And I like to kind of have this rotation or this kind of vital force, the middle fingers, and really pushing back and opening into the body here. That's it. Next inhale is to raise and look perhaps back. The left arm comes back behind, but raise the self up. And the exhale, rotating both hands, spring of that left foot, flat of the hands, right leg comes back into downward facing dog. That's it, the breath. So next inhale, we're going to be transferring now, transitioning to Trikonasana triangle pose. So the right leg comes forward and we're coming into the same rotation of the feet in terms of the feet position. But what I'd like to do is set this up for you. So with the left arm, let's rotate the left arm behind the back here. So we've actually got a nice flat pelvis. What I also want to do is make sure that the front of the chest is nice and open on the left side. So the next rotation is now just bringing palm facing forward and just following the inside edge of your right leg. So the goal with Trikonasana is, can you see here that I'm really flat in my chest? I'm actually not open through the chest. So what we want to do, the goal is not to get to the floor, mind you. The goal is to make sure that we've actually got this beautiful, it's a hip rotation, but it's a rotation up and out of the waist. So we've got that nice length through the top side edge of the waist, and we're coming in to find the rotation that serves us. So we don't want to resist and drop in from the waist. Okay, you want to keep the heart nice and open, and then come in to find our beautiful pose. So this is where if we have blocks, we can actually stack the body with the blocks. So feel that vital force opening the back of the body here. Next inhale, let's just now shorten the stance, come into waterfall pose. So what I mean by that is adjusting the back foot 45 degrees, spring of the hands, nice flat back, lift the navel back. Nice length for the hamstring. If that's too much for the right hamstring, just bend the knee. But I want to get you this sense of rotating the hips up and back, nice flat back. Next exhale, flat of the hands, spring of that left foot, right leg comes back, downward facing dog. That's it, beautiful. A few more breaths here. So Trikonasana now, the left side. So it's that left foot that comes forward. Just going to be rotating around to the opposite side so you can see. So let's just make sure we set that up beautifully. So it's that heel to arch alignment, the same pose that we've had in the feet for Virabhadrasana 2. So let's wrap that right arm around the back of our body so you can see that hand is nice and flat. So why I like to do that is just to make sure that it kind of guides the practice open, so you don't want to dip and fall into the pose. So let's just now rotate that back hip nice and flat. Use that left arm to run the inside edge of the leg. Bear is watching me now. Oh, he's a beautiful monkey, the Yogi Bear. Okay. And find your Trikonasana. Okay, can you see here how I'm lazy through the chest and through the tummy? We want to rotate up. So lift the navel up, rotate the ribs up. That's it, beautiful. Ooh, it's nice and hot here. It's a bit steamy. How is it where you guys are? Alright, so let's rotate ourselves around now. Shorten the stance somewhat. 45 degrees with that back foot. Let's spring of the hands. Let's rotate that left hip back. If it's too much for the hamstring, bend slightly in the knee. Lift the navel up. That's it, mate. Oh, you beautiful bear. Next, exhale. Flutter the hands. Right leg comes back. Downward facing dog. I've got a little bit more space now the bear's not there. Oh, he's a beautiful boy. Oh. That's it, down dog. A few more breaths. Here it comes. Hey mate, it's all right. Good boy. That's it. Now let's come to the knees. And let's take Salutations, Child Pose. But let's wrap the arms around us to take the pressure off the shoulders. Allow yourself to sink in here. And I want you to feel the belly, the rise and fall of the belly. So really feeling vital in through the base, in through the sexual health system, in through the navel. So I want you to push the belly, use the breath, push the belly in and out. So the inhale, the belly's full. Exhale, push the belly back, extract the belly back to the back of the spine. Inhale, the belly's full. So it's kind of this is a cleansing breath. So I want you to kind of adopt that when you're in your child pose. So 5 rotations and then just back to your normal rhythm of the breath and then come into your cleansing breath again. So it's this, we call this the breath of fire. So it's a cleansing breath, it's used to detoxify, it's to send prana very quickly through the left and the right side. It's also a balancing breath. So just try that, 5 rotations and then just back. So just rest into child as well. Okay, so for our final pose, we're coming into Ustrasana, into Camel Pose. So I'm going to give you a couple of variations for Camel. So I'm going to improvise with some cushions, but they can actually act as blocks as well. If you don't have blocks, go and grab some books from the bookshelf. I should have told you that actually before. Okay, Ustrasana Camel Pose. So a beautiful pose to open the heart and to increase this vitality in the front of the body. So this is actually our final pose for today's class that has focused on, this heating sensation and creating this vitality in the body. So I'm hoping that you're actually feeling this sense of lift during this practice. So Ustrasana is our camel pose. So what we're doing here is I'll just demonstrate the full version of the pose and then I'll give you some variations. So we're stacking the hips forward. We're raising the navel up. If it's too testy kind of underneath the knees, go and grab yourself a little pillow or a little throw just to rest underneath the knees. The first option is to just bring and open and lift the chest here. So you can actually clasp the hands behind you and just feel this sense of openness through the chest, softening the shoulders, focal point, lifting the chin slightly, and just feeling this sense of being very present in your body with the heart lifted and the ribs up. So the next inhale, what I'd like you to do is actually just turn the right side of the body and just get some perspective on the placement of where the back of your ankle and your foot is. So So in terms of the hand position here, keeping the hips rotated forward, just see if you can actually just kind of get into just feeling left and the right sides of the body, but keeping those hips forward just by touching the backs of the feet. So what I'd like you to do also with that opposite hand is just maybe place the opposite hand on the front of the belly, this beautiful abundant space that we've got in our bodies, and just feeling. And maybe at some point in the practice you won't need to look to find the placement, if that makes sense. Okay, what you can also do is roll up a cushion or a block to actually bring the earth a little higher for you. Because what tends to happen is that sometimes we feel there's some emotion that tends to rise in us about asana that creates some vulnerability in the body. And sometimes the vulnerability in the body, if we go a little bit deeper, is is a source of where metaphysically we may be holding some pain, because obviously the body has such memory. So whatever emotion it presents forward for you, just know that it's safe and it's okay, but we don't want to put yourself at risk in terms of going beyond your edge in terms of the asana. So I want you to find the difference between pain and challenge. So it's somewhere we don't want to go into pain, so you know what pain feels like, but we should start to feel really still active in the body. So we don't want to be, the old Goldilocks story where it's porridge was too cold, it was too hot, it's somewhere in the middle. So that's kind of a lovely analogy to, certainly to kind of have with when you're first starting out to more advancing asana practice. So this could be an option for you here as well, in terms of just finding where the body would like to work. In terms of this gradual, beautiful heart opener. Okay. Just feel where the body wants to be. And then if we're feeling strong and we're feeling vital and we're feeling open in the body, we're feeling we can trust, then there's an option which is just to come back and find firstly the right side of the body and find the openness with the flat of the hand on the base of the foot. So let's try that again with the right side. Which is just to then open the heart here and the breath. And let's try that with the left side. That's it. So the left and the right side, so just feel the vitality and the difference. And then if you're feeling stronger again, you may want to come into both hands. So lifting and focusing the hips forward, the heart's open. Coming back to find the lift in the chest. Lifting in the heart space. Neck, watch the tip top of the neck fall back. And the vital life force is open, or Tadasana Camel Pose. Okay, so let's just now come in to take a beautiful adjustment to counterbalance that heart opener. How's everyone feeling? Beautiful release of the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Palms facing up. Come back to take your child pose. As we now just prepare ourselves for our final series of twists. Okay, now. Alright, mate. So I would ordinarily do sublime twist. But I'm just running out of space with beautiful Labrador here. So I'm just going to offer you Vipucha Kiriani, legs up the wall pose. Hey mate, that's a good boy. So I want the pelvic bowl nice and supported here. I want the hips to be nice and supported in the lower back. Palms facing down or palms facing up. So if you want to ground or if you want to lift up, just depending on the direction of where your energy is flowing at this point in the practice. And let's rotate the feet, and let's thank our feet for supporting us on the earth during this vital practice this morning. Let's rotate the feet around. Let's also bring the knees into the chest where we started the practice from this morning. And let's rotate the knees side to side. So getting some lovely movement through the spine here. That's it. Alrighty, so now let's just, if you feel like you need to do another rotation in terms of a spinal twist, I'll just leave you to intuitively discover that. But I welcome you now to take your place on the mat. You may want to grab your little throw or perhaps an eye pillow as we cool off in Shavasana, in this final pose of rest. And I'm going to offer you a prayer to Mother Gaia as well. So let's just come in to find this connection back with the earth now. The back body is sinking, feet slightly off to the side, palms facing up. So just find the perfect position for you in your final place of rest. Okay, right. So all you need to be concerned about is just the rise and fall of your breath. Perhaps you may like to conduct a beautiful body scan of the body by just returning the mind to the beautiful opening pranayama. So the rotation of the breath from the vital life force that sits within the body, Muladhara, up into Sadhisvana, Manipurna, Anahata, Vishuddha, Ajna, and Sahasrara. So maybe that's the rotation, or maybe it's just a body scan by bringing the breath in and being really conscious of where you're sending the intention. So where the breath flows, the healing goes. So just quieten the body and just enjoy the vitality and the expression that you've experienced in this morning practice in devotion to this beautiful day of the year, this beautiful day where the sun is at its highest peak. And I'm just going to leave you now for a few moments, and I'll bring you back in just a moment. point in your practice you're feeling this sense of return to stillness, this beautiful parasympathetic state where the nervous system is in a state of rest. And before your transition from this beautiful place of peace and tranquility, I just offer you a beautiful prayer of gratitude to Mother Earth on this beautiful day of such vibrational power, such vibrational strength. So in gratitude for the return of the sun, let's return to peace and vitality and provide abundance to those who are in scarcity or who are in poverty. So as the sun spirals its longest day, let's dance, let's cleanse, and let's allow Mother Nature to show us her bountiful and fertile glory. And let's allow Mother Earth to bless us with her sense of vitality, her sense of love, her sense of connection to this beautiful rhythm and this beautiful cyclic nature that we are as women. And let's just take time to bless us with all the things that we love, with all the things that we want to draw in, with love and intention, and let's vibrate this on this beautiful, powerful day to our fullest potential. So just let these words marinate deep within your soul, and let's just also draw your mind and your breath just back to that beautiful intention that you established at the beginning of your practice, that beautiful relationship with your practice. And let's just honor that now with love, grace, and gratitude. And let's just now give yourself some space, a couple of breaths to just prepare your transition. And perhaps it is just moving the hands, moving the toes, the exterior joints, maybe even moving the knees up into the chest, maybe moving the arms intuitively up over the head. Whatever that source is for you that's going to give you a little bit of softness to return to your seated position. And as I lovingly invite you to return to your seat, let's just join hands into the prayer pose, into Namaskar. And as I close the practice this morning, I'm going to offer you a prayer of Namaste. So I am the light that shines within you. You are the light that shines within me. And together we are one. So thank you, ladies, for allowing me to guide you, and gents, as always, I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day on the turn of the season, this beautiful summer solstice. And thank you so much for spending your Sunday morning with me. I wish you a beautiful and beautiful vital day. So namaste, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Bear. So before I go, I'd like to also just extend a loving invitation to those yogis who may be interested in joining my in-person retreat. So my in-person retreat for 2020 is going to be held in Far North Queensland in Mission Beach. So if you're someone that's looking for 3 days of respite, for a yoga practice that is actually beyond asana, for this sense of connection, it's a small group. I'm only taking 11 women away. So if you're wanting to sit and hold space for yourself in a loving and compassionate environment set in nature, then I lovingly invite you to consider Sacred Woman Retreat. So the reason that's important is it's coming up to launch the early bird offer, which is coming up in January of 2020. So if you're interested, please do let me know. If you're not on the mailing list, you need to get access to that early bird offer. I don't want you to miss out. So thanks, everyone. So if there's any comments or feedback, I'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much for spending your morning with me. So namaste to you, and hopefully you're going to be able to create your own sacred circle or own sacred space of release for to maximize this energy of this beautiful day. So thanks, everyone. Namaste. Bye-bye, Bear Bear. Hey? Thanks, everyone. I'll get the camera sorted.